Alright, what's up guys? This is Stat Attack episode 3 coming at you with some college football stuff. We'll go over some bowl eligibility, we'll go over some records, there's not a whole lot of streaks really. We'll start with the ones that are going. USF, they've scored 20 or more now in 36 straight games. UCF has scored 30 or more now in 19 straight games. The Florida Gators have scored any points in 379 straight games, which is an NCAA record that they're extending. There's one kind of streak actually sort of going. Temple's wide receiver Ventel Bryant, he's caught a pass in 42 consecutive games, which is the nation's active leader. So that's good for him. Temple did not score non-offensive touchdowns this week, so that stopped their streak of 6 straight there. Let's go to first the players that are close to 1,000 yards, either rushing or receiving. And the parameters I use for that, the NCAA record for rushing yards in a game is 427, and the record is 405 for receiving. So anybody within that yards, I count. And I will shout out to Memphis running back Darrell Henderson. He is the first guy to reach 1,000 yards this year. He had 199 yards rushing in their last game against UCF. And at this point, he's got 1,133 yards rushing on the season. And he could very well hit 2,000 yards by the end of the year. So I'm going to remove him from the Stat Attack for now, from the 1,000 yards. But if he gets close to 2,000, I'll bring him back in. So congrats to Darrell Henderson on that one. So now I just got to read the next 27 players. That's it. So starting down from number 28, B.J. Smith at Troy. He's got 587 yards. He's within the realm of possibility, but I don't think he'll get it. Move up to Georgia Tech quarterback Taquan Marshall. He's at 598. I don't think he'll get it. Trey Ragas at Louisiana Lafayette, 599. Zach Moss at Utah, 617. Myles Gaskin at Washington, 623. Raquel Armstead at Temple, 626. Devin Singletary at Florida Atlantic, it's at 627. Malcolm Perry at Navy is at 632. Nick Brossette at LSU is at 640. Quadri Allison at Pittsburgh, 646. A.J. Dillon at BC at 652. He'd be way higher, but he's been hurt for the last 2 or 3 games, so he actually probably could have about 1,000 yards too right now as well. But we'll see if he comes back. Number 17, J.J. Taylor, Arizona, 663. Michael Warren, the second at Cincinnati, 664. Nico Evans at Wyoming, 670. Levante Bellamy at Western Michigan at 676. Justice Hill at Oklahoma State, 684. Karan Higdon at Michigan, 687. Benny Snell Jr. at Kentucky, 699. Miles Sanders at Penn State, 700. Eno Benjamin at Arizona State is 715. Now number 8, Scotty Phillips at Ole Miss, 723. Jordan Cronkrite at South Florida, 757. They play UConn next week, so if he has 243 rushing yards, he could get it. I doubt he will though. Let's see. Travis Etienne at Clemson at 761. Number 5, Alex Barnes. He's just skyrocketed up this thing the last 2 weeks with 181 and 250 last week. Alex Barnes, number 5 at Kansas State, 788. He could go for 212. We'll see. Trayvon Williams, Texas A&M. He is at 798. And then the next 2 after that, Jamar Jefferson, Oregon State, is at 865. And Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin, is at 950. I do think Wisconsin, he will get it in the next game. I have to see who they play next, but whoever they play next, I believe he will get it. He'll get over 1,000. And Jamar Jefferson, Oregon State, they actually pick them. They play Cal. He could very well get 135 yards rushing in that game. He's been awesome. You know, I'm gonna say he gets it. Why the hell not? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sue me. Alright, now we're going to go to the wide receivers. So, like I said, they have to be within 405 receiving yards, and that only goes to 14 players. Nobody's over 1,000 yards yet. We'll start with 14. KJ Osborne at Buffalo. He's been putting it on the last few weeks. He's at 606. Jalen Hurd at Baylor is at 622. Flynn Nagel at Northwestern is also at 622. Scott Miller at Bowling Green is 640. AJ Brown at Ole Miss is 650. Preston Williams at Colorado State is 671. Marquise Brown at Oklahoma is 675. Antoine Wesley at Texas Tech is at 703. Jerry Jeudy at Alabama is at 705. Tylan Wallace at Oklahoma State is 718. Jonathan Duhart at Old Dominion is 737. Laviska Shenault at Colorado is at 780. And the top two guys, Andy Isabella at UMass at 139 and John Rasu at Hawaii is 890. So John Rasu is only 110 yards away, and in that passing offense that Hawaii does, he could very easily get that, and I think he will. I think he will get to 1,000 yards. Andy Isabella is interesting. They like to pass it at UMass. He's only 161 away, which is certainly attainable. I have a hard time saying because it's like it is attainable, but you know, if it was just like 100, I would say yeah, sure. I think he'll actually just miss it. I could see him getting like to 151 or something like that, and like just be like 10 yards shy. So I don't think he will get it. So now we'll go on to one of my favorite things. This is the time of the year when teams start becoming bowl eligible. And to explain how to get bowl eligible, you have to win at least. You have to go 500 in the season, which means you have to. Most teams play a 12-game regular season, so you have to get to at least 6 wins. Hawaii, there's a Hawaii exemption because normally Hawaii will play 13 games, and teams that travel to Hawaii have the option of either an extra bye week or a 13th game, and the reason they do that is because of all the travel costs going to Hawaii and Hawaii traveling to the mainland. They try to give them one more game so they can kind of bring in more money to kind of offset the traveling costs. And those 2 games, other than Hawaii, Navy and Rice both have 13 games, which means they'd have to get to 7 wins, but none of them are very close right now, and I'm not sure. Navy normally makes it, but they're not doing very well right now. Rice, I think, is way out of it. But that being said, let's start with Houston. I have here. Actually, before I even do that, I'll just tell you who became bowl eligible this weekend. LSU became bowl eligible. UCF is now bowl eligible. USF is now bowl eligible. Texas, bowl eligible. Michigan, bowl eligible. Buffalo, surprise of teams, they're 6-1. They are bowl eligible. Florida Gators are bowl eligible. Alright, so Oklahoma, they had a bye week. They take on, who did they take on next? They got TCU. I think Oklahoma should win that. TCU's not very good this year. They might sneak into a bowl, but I can't see them upsetting Oklahoma. The Kentucky Wildcats, they are taking on, I think, Vanderbilt. Yeah, they're taking on Vanderbilt. This could be a close game. Vanderbilt's a pretty decent team. And Kentucky, I just don't trust, but I trust them enough to sneak out a win here and survive, and I think they do become bowl eligible this season. NC State, they take on Clemson, and I do not think that they win. I think Clemson wins this pretty easily, to be honest, but in NC State, I don't think they become bowl eligible. Miami, West Virginia, both are still a win away. They both have bye weeks. Hawaii, they've got 6 wins already, but like I said, they have that Hawaii exemption and need to get a 7th. They play Nevada, which I think will be a really high-scoring game. It'll probably be fun to watch, but I think Hawaii, it's going to be in Hawaii, which is a huge home field advantage for them. So I think Hawaii will become bowl eligible. Then we got an interesting game. Washington and Colorado both have 5 wins, but they play each other this weekend. So my cop-out, yes, one of them will be bowl eligible. But who? I'm going to go with Washington. I said it in my picks for Saturday. I'll break it down more in my previews for Saturday later. But I think it'll be a really close game. But I think both are coming off losses. But but I think Washington right now has the better overall team. And so I think actually Washington is the one that becomes bowl eligible. So that means Colorado will not. Troy, they had a chance. They had a chance to be bowl eligible, but they lost last week and they have a bye this weekend. So they will not become bowl eligible because they can't. Washington State. All right, there's another interesting one. Washington State. That's where game day is going to be for the first time in history at Washington State. Even though their flag has been at every single game day since the mid-90s, since college game day started, what they do is they've networked each other, a bunch of fans all over. They mail the flag from place to place, wherever game day is, and they've done it every single game day. Finally, game day will be in Pullman, Washington, for the Washington State Cougars to take on the Oregon Ducks. This should be a phenomenal game. High scoring. I got Oregon winning, and the weird thing about that is this is another game. Both teams have 5 wins, so one of them will become bowl eligible, and I think it's Oregon that actually becomes bowl eligible in this one, which conversely means I think Washington State will not. The Houston Cougars, they're 5-1. They face Navy. Navy's kind of struggling, so I think Houston does become bowl eligible this year. Boston College, they're actually 5-2. They have a bye this week, and then they take on Miami the next week, so they can't become bowl eligible yet this week. Miami, I said they have a bye. West Virginia's got a bye. Next one's Iowa. Iowa's 5-1 and really, really looking good in the Big Ten. They play Maryland. This is gonna be a tough game. Maryland's pretty good. They're 4-2. Neither team is unbeatable. I give the edge to Iowa. It's in Iowa, and I think they do actually become bowl eligible with that. UAB, they're 5-1, but they are taking on North Texas. This is gonna be a really, really good game. And it's USA. Both teams are really strong. If I'm not mistaken, I think I took North Texas to win. I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it was on here. But yeah, either way, I think I'm taking. Yeah, I picked North Texas to win. So that means I think UAB does not become bowl eligible. Western Michigan taking on Central Michigan. I do think that Western Michigan should win pretty easily, so I think they do become bowl eligible. Utah State, they're 5-1. They're taking on Wyoming. This should not be a close game. I think Utah State gets their 6th win. Fresno State, they're 5-1, taking on New Mexico. This is a tricky game. New Mexico's shown to be pretty good on offense. They could be pesky. It might not be as easy for Fresno State to win as people might think, but I do think Fresno does end up with the victory in the end. And San Diego State Aztecs, 5-1. They take San Jose State 0-6 and really bad. I don't see any way that San Jose State really wins. San Diego State, I think they do become bowl eligible with this. Texas A&M, they have a bye, so they can't. Georgia Southern Eagles from the Sun Belt. They take on New Mexico State Aggies. It could be close, but I think Georgia Southern, their triple option might be too much for New Mexico State to stop. I think Georgia Southern does become bowl eligible, and there you have it. I don't believe I forgot a team that's on the verge of bowl eligibility, but we'll follow that as it goes. So thanks for watching my stat attack. Go see the F-Files. Go look at all my other stuff. Peace.